Hi everyone, Michelle here from Gardening TLC. How many of you caught the tutorial on how to put together a winter pot? That really was the basics of how to blend, how to give your greens fresh cuts, and how to layer them in your pot to get a great looking pot. Well, today I got another paper mache and we're going to do it again. We're going to do a different style today though. We are going to be doing that cascading kind of waterfall effect with the treetop in the middle. I have to make 16 pots because I got to get them out to my customers. So if you're ready, let's go green it up. We are going to go over all the supplies that we're going to use to make this pot, and then we'll put it together. Now, if you want details on how to blend the different greens together, I highly recommend that you go back and you look at that container class that I did. It's kind of a Porch Pot 101 class, and you'll get a lot of tips on the different techniques that I use to blend the greens. So first and foremost, we are definitely using another paper mache pot. Now you can do this into your own pot. I use the paper mache because I want them to be disposable and easy for cleanup, and I need to be able to drop this down to any size pot that my customers out there have. So what I've done is I filled this up to about right here with sand. Now I am using some floral oasis on the top. This will do a couple things for me. This is a floral oasis that you soak in water, and it's going to allow the greens, one, to stick in here better, but two, it's going to allow them to drink a little bit longer. When they go to, well, actually, they don't clean the pots out. I do. I pull everything out and then just knock the oasis into the garbage, but the rest of it, I throw everything into the compost pile at the end of the season. We don't change the pots again until April, so we want to make sure that we're using greens that can withstand our winters. And if I decide to use a green that's a little bit more of a southern green, then I'm making sure that I'm using wilt stop on it. This is wilt stop, and I like to use this on some of the southern greens or greens that need a little bit more protection so that they'll make it through the winter. This is a pine resin, and what it does is it says right on here, reduces moisture loss when plants are under stress. Now, this isn't necessarily a plant that's under stress, but it's going to be a stem of a plant that was living, and I want it to last through the winter. So this is a pine resin, and by coating the needles with this, it actually makes my stuff last longer in the pots. So anything that I use that's more of a tender green or a southern green, we will be spraying this on this at the end when we finish the pot. This is a treetop. It is the top of a Black Hill spruce, and I buy some fairly large ones because I want these to look really cool when they come out of the pot. Now, one of the things that I always do when I'm using my tree toppers is I trim off a lot of these bottom branches right here. That way I've got a good stem to put down inside the sand and in the oasis. So I'm going to prune off a little bit of the bottom here until it looks really good, and I like the way it looks. I've got a pretty good stem here. Now you could give this a cut if you needed to make it look good. I will use all of these bottom branches that I just trimmed off and blend them in to what we're doing. But now you can see I have this really beautiful treetop, and this is going to be the center of our pot. All right, so you guys know that I am an absolute maniac when it comes to greens, and I have a serious love affair with them. But in these pots, because they're going out and they're going to be in front of businesses, I need them to still look just as beautiful as any pot that I would make to sell in the store, to put in front of my pots in the store, or even my house. So again, I like to use a lot of greens. Now, I do think that you have to have, not you don't have to, but I think 3 greens at least is a great amount of different greens to have to create some textural differences. If you only have one, you only have one. But I like to mix my greens. Now, I will always use Fraser Fir as my mainstay green. And the reason I'm doing that is because it lasts the longest out there in the wilds of Illinois where it's really cold and we get temperatures of 20 below and wind chills -30. Yeah, this will still stay green all the way until April. So we do use a lot of this in the pots. You can also use balsam. Now for me, balsam holds up pretty good outside. If you use it inside, it has a tendency to shed a little bit faster. It smells fantastic, but who cares outside? You can't smell it outside. But this has got a shorter needle. It's a little bit of a lighter green, so it's a nice one to mix in with the Fraser Fir. and it does have some good staying power. So we'll use some of this as well. I also have some accent greens. The accent greens are what we're gonna blend in, and we're not gonna use a lot of them, but they give us a little bit of a different color, a little bit of a different texture, and some of the ones that we're using will give us that weeping quality that we're looking for to kind of create that cascading look in the pot. Now I obviously have the trimmings from the Black Hills spruce, and I will be using those, but other greens that I'm gonna introduce into the pot will be Princess Pine, and this definitely has a nice weeping habit to it. It's got a nice long needle. This is actually from a different company than the ones that I used the other day. That one was like a little more thick. This one is a little more open and dense, and I like that because you can weave a bigger piece through your greens and have other greens coming out in between the open spots. So I do like this one as well. I'm also going to be using a green called Incense Cedar. And I like this green because of these beautiful berries on here, but look again at that beautiful weeping habit that it has. And that's one of the traits that I'm looking for in the greens that I'm using to create that waterfall effect. Now, again, I'm gonna use some Douglas. Douglas is a lighter green, it's soft, it's got a long needle on it. And again, it has a little bit of a draping quality to it. See, isn't that nice? And then the last green, or the last two greens that I'm gonna use, this is the Rockford Cedar. And again, see, I'm looking for those greens that weep a little bit. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. And then just a little bit of the Oregonia. And this is a variegated boxwood. This really shows up in the pot when you put it in there, and you don't have to use a lot of it. It's really just a green that's gonna accent all the other greens, but it also helps break up some of all the green that's in there. Two more really fun items that we're gonna add to the pot are, number one, check it out. This is winterberry. This is real winterberry. It's absolutely gorgeous, and this will absolutely pop in the pot. So we will be spreading this around the outer edge of the pot, and you'll see when we put it in how awesome that is. But I also am gonna add some southern magnolia. Isn't this fabulous? Look at that green glossy leaf here, and then if you look at the backside, it's this nice kind of velvety tan looking. And so I'm going to be intermixing some of this throughout. Now this is definitely a southern green, and between this and the Oregonia, which is considered a broadleaf evergreen, these two definitely need to be sprayed with the wilt stop. I've used the magnolia up here before, and if I don't spray it, it turns black. So those are all the greens that we're gonna put in. So we're gonna get started, we're gonna assemble it. I'm gonna take you through quickly how to put that together, and then I've gotta make 16 pots. I know I gotta knock those out. I have gotten all of my greens ready, and I'll show you the order of how I'm gonna put them in. All of them have been broken down and given fresh cuts. That way I can move through this very quickly. So the first thing we're gonna put in is the tree topper. And I did give it a cut here. I had to use loppers to cut that. My little hand pruners were not getting through that. All right, after that, we're gonna be putting in the Rockford Cedar. That will be second. Then we're gonna put in the Douglas. And I opted to use Douglas instead of balsam, so I'm not gonna use the balsam, just the Douglas. Then we're gonna do Fraser Fir, and you can see about the size that I've broken these down into. Then we'll blend in the tips that, or the bottom of the tree topper that we cut off, the Black Hills spruce, those will be next. Then we'll blend in white pine, the incense cedar, the magnolia, the Oregonia, and then we'll add 3 slash pine cones that we have put on dowel rods and our winterberry, and that will be our pot. The goal here is that we have the treetop in the center, and then everything is cascading around it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna put the treetop in the center of the pot. We're gonna shove it right down in that oasis. I put some weight on that because I want that to go as deep into this pot as I can get it, so that that way, when this pot freezes, this guy isn't going anywhere. The next thing that I'm gonna do is take all of the greens that I just showed you in the order that I showed you, and I'm gonna start putting them in the pot. And I'm gonna be putting them in this oasis so that they cascade over the pot. And we'll be going around the pot with each of the greens, blending them in until we get them all in the pot. When I put them in the pot, I'm gonna put them in at an angle like this. That way they'll work on coming out this way. So don't put them in straight up and down, because if you put them in straight up and down, they're just gonna be straight up and down, right? We're trying to make a cascade. All right, here we go. as you can see, there are spaces still in between each of the pieces because that's how I'm going to layer in the other pieces that I want to put in this pot. All right, so look at all that green that's still left. But if we stand back and we look at it, we've got the start of that cascade coming out around the pot. We are going to put the next two greens in, which will be the Douglas and the Fraser fir, the exact same way. We're just going to go around in the circle and we're just going to mix them up in there. Now that we have three different greens in there, you can see that I have interwoven in between the first green. That's where the Douglas is. See, there's one, and then I put one in between. And then I started putting the Fraser fir in. And the Fraser fir is in between, but I also started working my way back into the pot. And again, I'm still putting those branches in at an angle. That way, it's cascading out of the pot. Isn't that looking great? It is time to layer in some more greens now. We are going to be working our way back towards the center of the pot where the treetop is, and we're going to blend in our white pine, our Oregonia, and our magnolia. Oh, and don't forget, we're going to use the little cuttings off of the treetop and blend those in too. Oh my goodness, I love this. It is so gorgeous. I love all the different greens. I love the different blending. Those winter berries in there are so awesome. And I love that they're real. And this is a pot that you see all the way around. So I have a pine cone and berries on the back as well. Isn't this great? Oh my goodness. Let's get a close-up look at some of the blending of those greens. Look at that. Just in one shot right here, you've got white pine, Douglas, the Port Orford cedar, the Black Hills spruce. If we go up a little bit higher, we've got Oregonia in here. And oh my God, Fraser fir. Isn't that fabulous? I love the incense cedar and the little berries. Sometimes I use that and sometimes I use naked eucalyptus, but I love both of them. So here you go. I need to spray it with the wilt stop, and what I'll be spraying is this magnolia right here and this Oregonia. 1 down, 15 to go. When you spray, don't just spray the top of the leaves. You want to make sure you get underneath too. You want to get a good coating on this because the goal is that you're sealing it with this pine resin so that it will hold in any moisture that is in the leaf and it'll last longer. That is what the wet sand and the Oasis will help it do. It will help it pull moisture up, and that's why it's important to give all of your greens a fresh cut before you put them in your pots. Now, if you're doing this directly in dirt, I would actually water it. And there you have it. 16 pots that have to go out to all of my customers. Some of them will have to add extra greens around the outside rim of the pots because they have bigger pots. Some of them, they'll fit just perfectly in the pot, and some of them will add some colored birch and things to them when we get them to the site that they're going to. But these turned out so nice. Kimmy helped me with the last 3 and helped me knock them out. So, oh, I'm so glad that those are done. Now I have to make some for sale, and then I have to get ready for class. Oh, so much to do. I love doing this. That's a wrap for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed making the pots with me. You learned a little something, and now you want to get out and do your own. I'm Michelle, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye, everyone.